going to do the maintenance for this orchid, which if you remember, I started to accommodate into water culture, and the very important step that you want to do when you transfer orchids into water culture is to properly care for them in this period, because they do need a lot of attention. Now, a lot of the roots in the first month or maybe even 2 months will start to die and rot, and you should pretty much cut them as soon as you see them. But for the purpose of this video, I did wanted to show to you how many of them will die, and here I have a very unfortunate example. A lot of the root of the branch from here did rot, and here I have some stiff parts, but I'm not sure if they are still able to absorb water. So I will start to cut from here, because these are mushy roots, and you want to cut every single dead part, because if you feel them mushy, they cannot function anymore. And also if you feel them hollow in any way, I'm pretty sure this whole root will die, but I will not cut it just yet, just in case it can still absorb some water, because this is the actual root, and it still kind of looks greenish, so I will still leave it. Another very important step that I have observed, it is that you should change the water pretty much daily, because when you have decomposing roots, the water will go bad pretty fast, and because of this you don't want to leave the healthy roots in the water which is already spoiled, because that can transfer diseases more, and you want to keep as many healthy roots as possible. So we are going to cut now everything which seems mushy and dead. Also, as I was changing the water daily, I did also rinse the root system, because you can have some fungi starting to appear. So it is very important you do this step properly. It is a bit of maintenance, as I did. Actually, I will cut this, because yeah, it is summer, she will need to produce new roots soon. At this step you should try to provide as much calcium as you can, because the orchid needs it. Calcium promotes a new root development, and if you try to encourage root growth by a good fertilization method, you might actually get the orchid adjusted to semi-hydro faster than if you don't give it. This is already mushy, let's see. So this is what I am going to do, to cut everything which is mushy. Of course, you can see most of the roots, as in semi-hydro, will die. I don't expect many of them to survive. Here is the only root tip that is starting to grow at this point, which is good. It means that soon more will follow. I am waiting actually. Oh, look, I actually have a new root starting in here, so I am more interested in the new roots which will emerge from the stem of the orchid, and less on the older ones. What you want to do, it is to remove every single dead material that you see, because these when are kept constantly moist will promote fungi activity, and you don't want that. So try to clean it as best as you can, every single little sheet, everything that you can. At this point, for example, here I have some dead sheets on the stem of the orchid. You can even take a very soft toothbrush and try to gently scrape that part to remove it if you have fungal problems at the base, if you see mold accumulating. I think I can clean it okay-ish with my fingers, so at least for now I will not use that, but who knows in the future. Also, all these roots which are wounded will die, that is normal, and this is because we had a lot of cracks in the root system, so that is very much normal, as I said. Yeah, I don't think many of these will survive, because look at them, they have already little wounds when they are connected with the main root, so I don't think many of those will survive. Now I will take this aside. As I said, at the beginning I used this pot because this is a decorative pot, no holes on the bottom. I did not have a glass vase, but it is better if you use a glass vase. And with orchids, you don't want them, if they are in water culture, to leave them with their stem too down inside the container you are using. So for this purpose, I will first rinse my hands. So for this purpose we are going to use some little balls. These are some gel thingies which do enlarge their size when they are kept in water. Here I have some new ones. These have been already soaked and are already full size, but these are just recently put in water for about half an hour, and they are already starting to get bigger in size. I am not sure how they are called in English, but I think you will find them easily. They are usually used in decorations for glass vases. So yeah. So to make sure that my orchid doesn't have any fungal problems at the stem, I want the orchid to sit pretty much like this, and the root system not to sit all that down inside. So I will add a few balls, jelly things. Until I will be happy with the level the orchid will sit in. The purpose is not to use them as as medium, but to make sure the orchid stays on top of them. So I don't want the roots in them, but on top of them. I think I should put pretty much all of them. Still a bit of extra water. Yeah, I think this is a good level. I'm much happier like this, because the glass vase is too big for the moment for the orchid. And now I will put a bit of water pretty much until here, and I'm sure the orchid will be able to pick it up. I could even put a few more to keep the orchid a bit more raised, but I think that is okay for now. These are not yet fully soaked, so we are still waiting for them. So yeah guys, I will use of course fertilized water every single time. That means I need to prepare a new batch every single day, that is no problem. I will give her extra calcium. Sometimes I give her MSU fertilizer with extra calcium, sometimes I'm giving her just calcium. You can use whatever you want. Also, when the glass vase is getting dirty, or when the jelly balls are getting dirty, you can easily rinse them at the sink. And also, when you change the water, try to rinse the root system as well, so you can actually prevent any fungal activities further. And in here I have another little phalaenopsis. It is a keiki, and it's not doing all that good. It is recently removed from a plant, and I want it also in water culture, but if I keep it in here, look, even the whole stem and part of the leaves are inside, and that is not okay. So what I will do, it is after this are soaked, I will raise it somewhere in here, so it has plenty of ventilation, and I don't risk any rot. Now I want to sterilize again the pruners. In here I have, oopsie, that phalaenopsis, which I think it might have fusarium, and I did decided to keep her for from my last video. I kept her in this cup, and here I have some bark. I always kept water in here, and here I put some green moss. It seems to be happy, but yeah, underneath one of the leaves which did fall off, I had this little root, which of course stopped growing because the leaf was too hard and it could not penetrate it. And yeah, I should pretty much cut in here, and this leaf is also getting dehydrated and yellow, so I will not completely remove it, but only make sure that the base is exposed, because if there are root tips there, look, and they could not get free, and actually I will remove it completely. And I will spray a bit of hydrogen peroxide and let it to dry very well, because I did make quite a wound in there. So I think I wanted at first just to cut this part because it is from a spike, but I will actually see how it looks like. Yeah, it's still green. I will not cut this dead stump, because it's not really all that dead, is still alive, and I don't want to risk any rot, so I will do that. Spray it really well with hydrogen peroxide. Let it as it is for a day or two, so the wound gets dry, and after that I will put it in water culture with a few balls as well in this little cup, and I will use some of those to keep it raised, to keep it somewhere in here, because I don't want the stem of the orchid to be too down. That is too much humidity for the actually heart of the orchid, and you could promote some rot, and you don't want that. So I will let it like this to dry, and when it will look pretty dry to me, I will put it in water culture, as I said. You should not reuse the green moss actually, or if you really want to reuse it from an orchid to another, at least keep it in a very strong fungicide for some time, maybe a day or two, to make sure it is properly sterilized, let's say. And in here I have the third orchid, which will be put today into water culture. It is this one. It is a Cattleya, and it is a division. Doesn't look very good, the leaves, because it is a very I took the oldest suitables on the orchid, and of course they are pretty much with some sunburns. They don't look very good, but at least it has produced a new growth. I will not use this stake in water culture, and again we have the same issue. If you try to put the orchid with its pseudobulbs in water, you can cause rot, and you don't want that. So I will cut these dead roots from behind, and it's good that this one already has some new roots. They don't look very well, but they will continue to grow most probably in water, and I want it to stay on top of the balls. I will use this little cup because that is enough, and yeah, I will come back and actually show to you how I do all these things, but after this completely soak. Okay guys, so here we are back. The little gel balls have almost completely enlarged in size, and for this one I will wait a bit more, maybe 1 week, because I want the stem to be completely sealed. Maybe I will put a bit of cinnamon in here or not. I will think about that. I do wait that this leaf will also fall off in time, maybe in the next month, but I think this one will remain, and I hope that new roots will soon emerge from here. As for this little Cattleya, as I said, I sprayed it with hydrogen peroxide. I cleaned as best as I could the dead materials. I guess that you could intervene a bit more with nail scissor, so you can reach more places, but I think for now we are good, and I will put now a few of these in here, just enough to keep the stem or the rhizome of the orchid on top of the water. I will put the tag in there, and after that I will add a bit of water, maybe until here. Okay, sorry for that. In here as well I will add a few of these. You can use whatever color you want. I saw they had even on red, on blue, so you can play a bit with this. I think the best color for me would be these transparent ones, because I have some projects, but we will see. I will actually buy a few more, because I don't have more on this right moment. And I will actually put them all in here, because as I said, I will buy some more, and this would be a good height for my particular orchid. You can see that the little balls will wick up the water, but the stem of the orchid will not stay in water, so we don't have any chances for stem rot or crown rot. So this is pretty much all for today, guys. As I said, I will add a few centimeters of water. I will actually empty this water out, and I will put some fertilized one, same in here, and I will come back with more updates once I see more development. As I said, you should make sure the stem stays as ventilated as you can, especially on Phalaenopsis, and especially on orchids without many roots, which keep them on top of the water. Make sure you clean the orchid as soon as you see dead roots, and change the water daily. So alright guys, this has been the video for today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!